Women in red rooting for the Super Eagles, and a very warm welcome to sports, the second installment of Sports on the Breakfast Show. I'm Solomon Ajizugu, and 4 years after losing in the final, favourites Argentina could be heading home after their game tonight with the Super Eagles. The coach of Nigeria, Kenneth Roy, says his team is ambitious, are the ambitious underdogs as they aim to knock out the 2014 runners-up on a cold day in St. Petersburg. Our man in Russia, Efoghe, sent in this report earlier. Well, joining us on a cold day in St. Petersburg is Efoghe. Very warm welcome to you, Promise. Well, I thought you'd be all padded up this morning.
Solomon, I was shocked when I woke up this morning to see the sun for the first time in Petersburg. I've been here for a couple of days now, almost 1 week, and it's been cold all through. Perhaps it's a day made. And the sun came out, this morning, standing still, making St. Petersburg warm for the very first time in a couple of days now. I'm excited. I'm feeling like home right now. I told you yesterday that I will be coming out with a lot of sweaters and jackets, but I think I need less of those because St. Petersburg is surprisingly warm this morning. We are preparing for the big game day today and later tonight at the stadium with Nigeria and Argentina. Our conference, the coach of the Nigerian team did say that his team will not really show too much respect to the Argentine team, and he also said that he has no plans.
Before you talk about that match, tell us, as at last night, it was 14 degrees. This morning, how warm is it? Is it warm enough for Nigeria to beat Argentina?
Well, it's warm enough for me as an African. Don't forget the fact that the majority of our players play in Europe. And so even when it's cold, they are okay with it because they are so much used, to the cold weather in Europe. For me, as a journalist who is coming all the way from Africa to Russia for the first time, it's warm for me, and I feel good here in Petersburg this morning, Solomon.
Now, this is defender Brani Dou's hometown, and we understand there's a large contingent from Nigeria in this city. Are they enough for a noisy support for the Eagles?
Well, when we played Croatia, 95% of the fans at the stadium were Croatians. Why? Because of proximity of from Kaliningrad. When we played against Iceland, the number of Nigerians in the stadium improved. I am expecting, knowing very well that lots of Nigerians made the trip to Russia in the after that win against Iceland. The win against Iceland inspired some hope, spurred some confidence in the team, and Nigerians began to troop into Russia to support the Nigerian team, Solomon. And I'm hopeful that the stadium, if not packed by Nigerians, we should have a chunk of at the stadium.
And so what are the scenarios for the Super Eagles and Argentina tonight? Who wins, who draws, who goes home, and what are the possibilities?
Well, Nigeria is on top of Argentina at this point in time, and so the pressure is more on the Argentines. They've not won a game so far at the World Cup. And so, like I was trying to tell you earlier, Kenneth Roy, the coach of the Super Eagles, has said that he will not pay too much respect to the Argentines. They were beaten by Croatia. That also means they can also, that means they are beatable, and they can be beaten by the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Nigeria hasn't beaten Argentina before at the World Cup. This might just be the first time. Solomon, I have with me the media officer of the Super Eagles, Toyin. You have been him since I came on air with you. Toyin is there with me. Toyin, say hi to Solomon.
Solomon, good morning. It's warm here for Promise, if it's warm enough for him, it's warm enough for us.
Right. Toyin, tell me, what's your own projection? He doesn't know the projection of the number of fans we expect. How does the Brian Idowu factor? Well, he's Nigerian now, but that's his hometown. How is it helping the Eagles there?
Yeah, we are going to be playing in a very big stadium, about 67,000. We've been told that 20,000 of those fans will be Argentines. Then, if you know what St. Petersburg is like, it's very cosmopolitan. A lot of people are here. We will get enough support. There will be enough noise at the stadium. When we played against Iceland, it was the same. It was about 80% of Iceland fans in the stadium, but the noise was still good enough for us. We play better when the noise is there and people are against us sometimes. So, yes, we'll have more Nigerians here, but the atmosphere in the stadium will be good enough. And who says that by the time the first half is over and we have a good lead and we are going into the second half midway, that the Argentines who are even in the stadium won't be supporting us and rooting for us to go. So we are in good spirits. We are very positive. We know it's going to be a tough game. Our boys are prepared for a tough battle, and I'm optimistic at the end of the day we will make Nigerians proud. We will get the result that will take us to the next round.
Well, at the tactical point, as the media officer, as a man closer to the team than even promised, may I ask you here, what's the approach to this game today against the Argentines? Are we playing 5 defenders? Are we playing a 3-5-2? Are we playing a 4-3-1? How is the approach, and who are the players who are going to do this?
Yeah, the coaches are working. As I'm speaking to you now, the meeting, they're deliberating. I'm sure they're crossing the T's, dotting the I's on how exactly they want us to play. But Coach Ganotro yesterday talked about lining up a team that will fight. So whatever system we deploy, whatever players we deploy for this game, it's going to be a Nigerian team that will fight with honor and give everything on the pitch to get the results, and I believe they'll be able to achieve it. An hour to the game, the list will be out, and then you'll be able to know for certain who is starting and who is not starting. But the good news is that everybody is available for selection. All 23 players are available for selection, and they are in excellent shape physically, apart from the captain who has a little cast around his left wrist. Every other person is 100% ready to go. So we will have a strong squad, fit squad that will run the Argentines down and get us the result that we desire.
Well, you're almost infecting me with your optimism, you and Promise. But then I'll wait to get back to you after the match tonight, and we hope that it will come good for Nigeria. Well, thank you so much, Promise Efoghe, all the way from St. Petersburg with Toyin Ibitoye reaching us there. Well, they've told you what to expect. Of course, we'll be full of expectations.